Greenland, an icy remote island at the edge of the Arctic, home to just over 56,000 people. But for centuries, it has caught the attention of a superpower. That's right. America has tried to buy, annex, and influence Greenland multiple times. But why? And why has every attempt failed? Let's dive into the fascinating history of America's obsession with Greenland. To understand America's interest in Greenland, we need to look at its strategic location. Sitting between the Arctic and Atlantic Oceans, Greenland is a gateway between continents. It's packed with natural resources, military advantages, and untapped economic potential. This icy landmass has drawn the attention of explorers, governments, and corporations alike, each recognizing its value in an increasingly interconnected world. During World War II and the Cold War, Greenland became a crucial chess piece in global security. The U.S. realized its potential as a military outpost to monitor Soviet activity and control air routes over the Arctic. But this obsession with Greenland goes back way before the Cold War, stretching to the mid-19th century when America was expanding its territorial ambitions. Our story begins in 1867. Fresh off the purchase of Alaska from Russia, Secretary of State William H. Seward had another grand idea: buying Greenland and Iceland from Denmark. At the time, America was eager to expand its influence in the Northern Hemisphere, believing that control over these territories would offer both economic and military advantages. Seward believed acquiring Greenland would expand America's northern reach, just like Alaska. The U.S. government saw an opportunity to control key trade routes and potentially tap into undiscovered resources. However, Denmark wasn't interested. The idea fizzled out. The territory was seen as an integral part of the Danish kingdom, despite its geographical isolation. However, this was just the beginning of America's Greenland ambitions. Fast forward to World War II. With Denmark occupied by Nazi Germany, the U.S. saw an opportunity to step in and protect Greenland from Axis control. The island's geographical position made it an essential outpost for transatlantic flights, weather monitoring, and military operations. The U.S. didn't just protect Greenland, it essentially took over its defense. The U.S. built crucial airfields and weather stations, which played a major role in tracking enemy movements. These airfields became lifelines for American forces, allowing them to move troops and supplies more effectively. This strengthened America's foothold in Greenland, making the idea of owning it even more tempting. Now, here's where things get really interesting. In 1946, President Harry Truman made a bold move. He offered Denmark $100 million in gold to buy Greenland. The deal was intended to solidify America's presence in the Arctic and ensure that the territory wouldn't fall under Soviet influence during the growing Cold War tensions. Truman saw Greenland as a Cold War stronghold, vital for America's Arctic defense strategy. The base at Thule, which was later constructed in 1951, would serve as one of America's most critical early warning stations against Soviet missile attacks. However, Denmark rejected the offer, seeing Greenland as an important part of its kingdom. Despite its remoteness, even though the U.S. couldn't buy Greenland, that didn't stop them from expanding their military presence. The Thule Air Base, built in 1951, became one of America's most strategic Arctic bases. Positioned just 750 miles from the North Pole, the base played a key role in early warning missile defense during the Cold War, helping to detect potential Soviet threats before they reached American soil. Throughout the Cold War, Greenland remained a key asset in Arctic strategy. The U.S. and Denmark continued their military collaboration, strengthening NATO's northern defenses. In 1968, an accident at Thule Air Base brought Greenland into international headlines. A U.S. B-52 bomber carrying nuclear weapons crashed near the base, spreading radioactive debris. This incident heightened tensions between Denmark and the U.S. and raised concerns about America's presence in Greenland. And just when we thought the idea of buying Greenland was history, President Donald Trump brought it back in 2019. Trump openly floated the idea of purchasing Greenland, calling it essentially a large real estate deal. But Denmark's response? A hard no-N. Danish leaders dismissed the idea as absurd, stating that Greenland was not for sale. Trump's Greenland pitch became an internet meme, but it also reignited a real discussion. Should the U.S. pursue a greater presence in Greenland? Some experts argued that in a world of shifting geopolitics, Greenland's strategic value had only increased. Others saw it as an outdated idea that ignored the growing autonomy and national identity of Greenlanders. Today, Greenland is gaining even more global attention due to climate change, melting ice, and untapped resources. The Arctic's ice sheets are retreating, revealing valuable minerals, oil, and gas reserves that could reshape the world economy. The US, Russia, and China are all closely watching Greenland with growing interest in its geopolitical and economic potential. In 2020, the US even opened a consulate in Greenland for the first time in decades, signaling continued interest. The US has also invested in infrastructure and economic projects in Greenland, building closer ties with local leadership. While this doesn't mean a purchase is on the horizon, it does show that America is keen on increasing its influence in the region. However, despite these efforts, full acquisition of Greenland remains nearly impossible. The political and cultural identities of Greenlanders are deeply tied to their homeland, and many are pushing for greater autonomy from Denmark, rather than becoming part of another nation. Greenland is gradually developing its own governance and economy, with the goal of achieving full independence in the future. So why has America never acquired Greenland? It comes down to three key reasons: Danish resistance, Greenlandic sovereignty, and shifting global priorities. Denmark has repeatedly refused to sell Greenland, recognizing its value and strategic importance. Meanwhile, Greenlanders themselves have expressed a strong desire for self-determination, rather than becoming a US territory. Beyond its military significance, Greenland's natural resources play a crucial role in its future. The island is rich in rare earth minerals, which are essential for modern technologies, including smartphones, electric vehicles, and renewable energy solutions. As demand for these materials grows, Greenland's resources become even more valuable on the global stage. The US sees this as an opportunity to reduce reliance on Chinese-controlled mineral markets. In addition, the Arctic's melting ice is revealing new shipping routes, potentially cutting travel times between Asia, Europe, and North America. The US and its allies are keen on securing these pathways before rival nations establish dominance. Greenland is moving toward greater autonomy from Denmark, and its people value their independence. While the US may continue to play a role in Greenland's economy and security, a full purchase, that's unlikely to happen. As we move into a new era of Arctic exploration and geopolitical tension, Greenland will continue to be a major player. With its vast resources and strategic location, the world's interest in Greenland is only growing. The US may not own Greenland, but its influence there is stronger than ever. Looking ahead, there are increasing debates over Greenland's role in the global economy. With its resource potential and strategic position, Greenland is poised to become a key player in global trade and security. Meanwhile, Denmark and Greenland's local government continue to negotiate new ways to balance autonomy, economic growth, and geopolitical partnerships. So, what do you think? Should America still try to acquire Greenland? Or is this a relic of the past? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more fascinating history deep dives.